Yo, what up, what up?
What up, everybody?
Peace.
I am Simone Arabia.
I'm Fever.
And together we are Spotless Minds. And welcome to another episode of Beats,
Sneaks,
and Rhymes. How y'all doing out there? Y'all good? What y'all been doing? Y'all been clean? Washing your hands, staying away from German people?
Word.
What y'all doing?
Wearing a mask.
Wearing a mask?
Not wearing a mask.
Not wearing a mask? What y'all doing? Let us know in the comments. All right. So we're going to get right into it. We don't like to waste anybody's time.
Nope.
Okay. So the first segment,
We's gonna talk about
the beat segment. And in the beat segment, what do?
beatbox.
Y'all think I'm beatboxing, but now I'm just moving my head. Okay, so we'll do that next time.
Anybody want a beatbox versus holla at me?
Ooh, beatbox versus. Rest in peace to Biz.
I'm just kidding. Where are the beatboxers at though?
One.
Yeah, man. Where are the beatboxers at?
Where are the beatboxers
this is
at?
the strength of Biz.
Where are the beatboxers at? If you know any beatboxers, holler at us in the comments. Bring them out. All right, so in the beat segment, we pick a album and we talk about it because we feel like you guys should hear us discuss this album. And
we feel like, not all the time, but we talk about albums that may have went under the radar.
Yes.
And that are dope, have dope appeal. And
we just feel like you need to give it another go round.
Another go round, or the first go round.
Or the first go round, because you might have missed it on the lowdown.
Or you might have forgot it. You might have heard and be like, yo, but
I forgot about that.
You know what I mean? Drake might have came out. You might have listened to Drake. You know what I'm saying?
Shouts out to Champagne Poppy. All right, we are going to get right into this. So what we got this week?
We're going back
to when?
3 years. We're going back to 2018.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's right. 3 years. My math is mathing.
Okay. And we're talking about Talib Kweli and Styles P joint EP, which is called The 7.
Ooh, this is a favorite of ours on the Beat Sneaks and Rhymes podcast.
So
we love it.
There is only 7 joints.
Because it's called 7.
It is very political.
Yes.
And I know for some that if you're thinking like, you know, Styles P and Talib Kweli.
How did that happen?
And I'm sure it probably happened
organically.
Touring together and stuff like that. You know what I mean? People gel and, you know, get to talk. And, you know, and I just think, you know, people over the years, we all watch Styles mature. And I just think we think a little different of people, what they rhyme and what they say, but you know what I mean? It has nothing to do with how they move.
Exactly, right? So that's the thing, right?
You know what I'm saying?
That's the thing that I've learned because of you, that what people give us musically isn't always a reflection of what they're doing outside of music. So then when you see these alliances happening, right? And now that we have been blessed with the internet, blessed and cursed sometimes, right? But we've been blessed with the internet, so now we're privy. We get all of these backstories, right? Where we wouldn't have gotten them before unless somebody was on the cover of Source or Rolling Stone or something like that.
Word.
But we know now that, oh yeah, Styles and Talib, they was on tour somehow or whatever,
or just
they've been cool because of the whole maybe Juice thing or whatever the thing is, right?
Or just a conscious level,
or just like, yo, we was cool back in the day and then we hadn't seen each other, and now next thing you know, we was kicking it for like a week straight, and then we just did an EP, and that's usually how stuff has been happening lately.
Yeah.
So
no doubt.
So yeah, so the 7. We love this album here.
You got different producers on there.
I'm sorry, we love this EP, right?
Yeah. You got Knots.
Yes.
You got Oh No.
Yes.
You got
yes.
You got Marco Polo.
Yes.
And you have 88 Keys.
88 Keys.
You have Crisis.
Crisis on the board with the heat.
Amadeus and Brady Watt. That's two.
Two names I don't know.
I don't think I've heard of those producers. All the other ones I've definitely heard of.
But but they were a good fit.
Yeah.
Just the same.
Exactly. What's your favorite?
9.5. That's what it is.
9.5.
9.5 is my favorite. Yes. Okay.
And that's features the locks.
Features the locks.
Yeah, I mean features has features with Jadakiss.
Right? Because Styles is already on it. But yes, that is a. For me, it feels like such a hip hop song, right?
Yeah.
The scratching,
Marco Polo production.
Yes, it is definitely a very, very nostalgic, but not feeling old, right?
Yeah.
And it's just a dope song. Everybody's rapping their behinds off and everything. Every time I play that album or that EP, it's weird because I'm like, why do I always run that song back all the time? And then when we decided that we were going to play that, I was like, yeah, this song feels very, very, very essence hip hop for me.
I
don't necessarily need that, but when I get it and it's good like that, I can't deny it.
You see, and what it is, you know, I definitely feel where you're coming from. Sonically, it's the thing is just like people like Marco Polo to have that like that sound you're talking about, like it sounds like the essence of hip hop, and then to have it in this present time sonically come through clear like it would, because that, like, the sound you hear is the 80-90 sound, the late 80s 90s sound, but the late 80-90 sound had that fuzz, that tape,
that fuzz and
low,
that tape,
you know what I'm saying? But now to hear it now and it's just like crispy, you know what I'm saying, clear like it is.
So good. We listen to we revisit a lot of old stuff, and when you listen to a lot of old stuff on digital stuff, we be like, man, this joint low as hell.
It's low, like it's still low, like it's still low, like, you know, not unless they send it through a whole nother process of mixing it again and bringing out.
Because we've heard some remastered joints, and we be
definitely.
like, wow,
yeah, you be like, yo, you can tell, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
but I mean, we all know who's always been definitely in the
crispy sound category. Dr. Dre.
Yeah, he's been.
And we'll talk about him at a later date. We probably gonna have to like have a segment where we talk about engineering and sound, you know. So what's your favorite joint?
I like Brown Guys.
Yes.
It's a message in Brown Guys. I mean, the whole EP is a message.
Yes.
It definitely gives you a side of Styles P. You know, because he always has maybe one or two joints in his own album that, you know, where it's really that soul song is on some good shit. You know what I'm saying?
My life is all I
Other than, you know, just gangster or, you know, street level, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This whole EP is, you know, a conscious Styles. It gels so well together.
It was such a surprise, and not like, why would they come together? Nothing like that, because they're two dope MCs. But I just never seen it happen.
The level of expectancy of them together. I would never be like, oh, I don't think this is gonna work. Yeah. But it's just like when you hear it, it's just like, yo,
this is so
like
good.
I would enjoy another joint. Maybe not an album, but another EP.
Please.
Straight up. Common is on there also.
Common.
Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Chris Rivers.
Yeah.
That's
Big Pun Son.
Little puns, you know. And yeah, that's the features on there.
And they all work very well.
Yeah, they all work very well.
It's just a dope project. You can play it front to back. It is a no skip.
Too.
Teleprompters is a good one.
Teleprompters tell us lies.
Yes. Yes. Like you hear
in the sky.
Yes, then you hear the bars and you hear the wisdom and you hear like you know the jewels and you just like and then the production is like it's just
dope.
It's so good.
So yeah, listen to that. Talib Kweli and Styles P.
The seven. Yeah, go ahead and listen to that. And one other thing before we wrap up this segment is that another reason why this collab was such a delightful surprise was because I think around the time in 2018 we started to see people come together and start putting like, oh, this person they put together a EP. This person they came. I don't have the numbers of people or a list of stuff.
This is around the time of Benny the Butcher. I mean, you had Benny the Butcher and 38 Special, but then you had Benny the Butcher. This was a surprising collab that gelled well, and that was Benny the Butcher and Smoke DZA.
We talked about that on this joint.
Yeah,
we definitely did. That was definitely when we wrapped up that year. That was like one of I think we both had that in our top 10.
Yeah,
and so. You know, we just kept seeing those things, you know, those collabs, and it was just like, oh, where's all these things coming from? So then when you find one that works so well together like this joint and the Benny joint and Smoke DZA, you know, so that was a good thing for me. So 2018 was dope.
2018 was pretty dope.
Yeah. Shouts out to Styles and Talib, you know. Thank y'all. If y'all, you know, want to put together another EP, we're going to listen to it.
Word.
We'll be back. All right, y'all, we are back. And we are on to our sneak segment. This is where we pick some footwear, some kicks, some sneakers. Depending on where you live, tennis shoes, what are those?
What are those?
And we talk about them.
Bobos.
Bobos.
I'm from the era where if you had on some bullshit, they would call Bobos. Straight up. I don't know what. Tell me what in the comments. Tell me what y'all call.
Yeah, what y'all call terrible
sneakers,
kicks, right?
Because yeah,
I'm sure every region has.
Before what are those and
right.
I'm trying to think. It was something else other than Bobos, but you're like, yo, you got, and that would be like no names. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It wouldn't be, not always just a whack. Like, if you had on a whack Adidas or a whack Nike, they wouldn't be Bobos. Or you might just get it off cracking. Like,
right. I'm not sure if we use the word Bobos. But I just know.
Bobos.
It do. But I just know that if you had on the wrong shoes, the wrong sneakers, it just was it was bad.
It still sound bad, though. This nigga got on Bobos. Yo, we got on Bobos.
I cannot deal. And so on my side of the table,
what you got?
We have some Diadoras. Okay, we have the what N9002 GS for small people shoes. These were a nice little pickup for the kid. They were on what I love to call an economically satisfying price. They were on sale, okay? And, you know, I just love the colorway. I thought that they were, you know, neutral. They can go with anything, which is not something I necessarily need. I don't necessarily need to get a pair of kicks that have to go with everything. But this was a good find because I actually was in need of a neutral type of shoe. And so they're very comfortable. It's really a canvas shoe. It's mostly canvas and suede or nubuck or whatever. Not much leather. It's the leather's on the bottom part. But I will have to say that these are a profile and style shoe. They are not a hey, we got a lot of walking to do shoe. They're very soft, and so if you have some sort of foot issue like I do, like a bad ankle, they're not very sturdy in the, like around the support of the ankle and the lower part of your foot area, but they are a very clean and classic looking pair of kicks. And they're definitely always on the heavily complimentary side whenever I do wear them. And yeah, I picked these because I just think the colorway is really dope. And shouts out to Diadora for hanging in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when I don't know, I hadn't seen them for a while, and then I started seeing them again, and I was like, yeah, I can dig it.
I'm just looking.
I know. I'm just like, okay, yeah, you know, so.
You know, I wasn't a part of this excursion of, you know, you pick these out, you know, for yourself.
Yeah, he's my plug, right? So normally when I'm on here, on my side of the table, they are, I choose a pair that he has chosen to purchase for me. And so this time I'm sure he feels a little left out.
No.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, you know, so Diadora in the house. And so what we got on your side of the table?
We have some ACGs, which are 30 years old.
Baggy jeans, no Tim's, ACG boots. Shouts out to Ghostface Killer.
Yeah, we got the ACGs. They came out in 1991. They were designed by the great Tinker Hatfield.
The great.
They were made for hiking. This is the first sneaker that has the speckled sole. You can see that. You know what I'm saying? Specks on the sole.
Okay, looking like granite.
You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
It is a Huarache and another sneaker mix. Let me tell you what it is: a Huarache and it's a wildwood, which I don't know what a wildwood is.
Okay.
They always kind of came across to me. They look more like a Bo Jackson Huarache
hybrid. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean, because the toe box always kind of reminded me
of the
Nike
Jackson
sign right here. That's new. The original ones,
they don't have that.
They don't have that.
Okay.
The Nike sign there. You know, you got that New York Knicks blue and orange there. I know, you know.
Or Mets, depending on what kind of sport you like.
I know these always get hooked up with, you know, the Knick jersey or Met jersey. You know, people who automatically, some people just love to just run the jerseys.
Love it.
Instantly because it's an easy match.
It's easy.
You know what I'm saying?
You don't have to do a lot of thinking.
You gotta do nothing. But I love the tan, the earth color. This was around the time, too, that earth colors started becoming kind of a thing.
Yes.
Back in the day. So, yeah, they came out in 1991. This is probably... I didn't have them in 1991. This is a sneaker that I wanted in 1991.
Same.
That I didn't get.
And so you were happy when you scored?
I was happy when I scored these, no doubt. That I was able to get these and relive, you know.
How do they feel?
They feel good. They are lighter than I thought.
Okay.
One, and they do not grip as tight as I thought they would.
As a Huarache? As
a Huarache. Because a Huarache can...
Yeah, that's whole sock thing, right?
Yeah. Huarache can be, for me, it could be a little tight sometimes. And
very constricting.
Very constricting. So if you're not really doing anything athletic and moving and shaking to where you're not thinking about that and you need that, then, you know, it gets a little uncomfortable. But so, yeah, these don't feel like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, they're definitely going to get some wintertime play.
All weather, all conditions gear.
All conditions gear. That's right.
That is the promise.
Yeah.
That the ACGs give us.
This is the ACG Air Mowabb, by the way. I don't think I said Air Mowabb.
I don't think so. It's on the bottom.
Which was back to Tinker Hatfield. I don't want to make this long, but he designed it after. And this is an artist's eye.
Okay.
After Fish. River, you know what I'm saying, that whole hiking scenery.
Yeah, this looks like rocks and all that.
You know, yeah, exactly. So it's
can I sell rocks? Sorry.
Pretty much, you know.
That's where his eye was.
That's where his eye was.
Yeah, and that's I think that once you know that and then you look at the shoe, it totally makes sense.
There's other colorways that drop. You can look that up. I mean, there's some, and there are older colorways also that I don't know if they actually redropped those recently. Okay. You know, the older ones, Fish Rivers and Native American moccasins. That's what the
inspiration. Nice.
And I guess it's probably where you get the tan. You know, that old school tan leather. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can dig it. All right. Shouts out to Tinker Hatfield and Air Mowabb.
Tell us what y'all think in the comments.
What y'all think? How y'all feel about these
Tell me
choices?
if you had these in 91.
Did y'all have these? Was y'all fortunate enough to get these? No, like seriously, tell us. Like, do you still have them? Do you have the original ones? Does anybody wear Diadoras out there? Let us know.
Works.
We'll be right back after these messages from our sponsors that we don't have.
Not Bobos.
Never Bobo. And we're back. All up in, you know what I'm saying? Like Wayne's World, up here. Boom.
Okay.
All right, so we are keeping that in. That is not a blooper. So yeah, we are back. And we have our segments.
I don't know why I call this unpopular opinion.
Actually, yeah, I don't think this is an unpopular opinion, but this is just that's what we're going to call it. We're going to call this segment the discussion segment. And so we decided to talk about
the kinds of fans. Hip-hop fans. I love hip-hop fans. I'm not thinking there's any music fan, really. Really? In general. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sure if we were talking to people about this topic in other genres of music, they would probably, you know, at least have their own type of kinds of fans. So let's get into it.
The kinds of fans. Okay, so we have these kinds of fans that are, let's just say, I don't want to label, I don't want to make any labels. Okay. But let's just say super fan.
Okay. Got a cape on.
Got a cape on. The super fan is, there's fans that's really into this music thing that goes beyond just listening to it.
Okay.
It goes into the detail of production.
Okay.
The detail of lyrics. It could be the
okay.
It could be about the artist. They're knowledgeable of pretty much, you know, all of this stuff.
Right.
Opposed to the fan that knows the artist. You know, they know what they look like.
Right.
They watch. They see their videos. And you know,
they'll know when they drop music.
Then they know when they drop music.
But outside of that, they're not like a hardcore fan. They're not a super fan.
No.
Okay.
I mean, and there's fans in between that, because you have fans in between. You have fans that have just a little bit more, and then fans with a little bit less.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because some fans, they're willing to buy it and support, but and listen.
Yeah.
And then that's it. You know what I'm saying?
And that's it. And that's the extent.
Yes.
Of their investment.
Yeah.
Their personal investment.
Yeah, no doubt. So
I get that.
There becomes discussions about certain things. You know, and as a fan, if you don't have the know, then that discussion is really not up for that fan.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Okay. Right, but then there's different levels of conversation, right? Depending on what kind of fan you are, right?
True.
And so those fans who are invested less are not necessarily invested in having a conversation that goes beyond their investment.
Exactly.
Right?
Word.
So sometimes
there
you'll have a super fan that really wants to discuss Styles P, right? Yeah. They're completely invested in Styles P, and they talk to a person who's listening to the current Styles P album, but they're not as invested, right? So that conversation is probably going to be one-sided, or it'll just go a certain level,
level. Because this is a hip hop show. We're going to talk about hip hop fans.
Yes.
You know, and this hasn't nothing to do with an era or when you're born, because I believe if you're into music, if you're into hip hop and it starts at an early age, and no matter what age it starts at, but usually if it starts at an early age and you're really into it and invested, then it's different for that fan that, you know, like we just talked about, that's into hip hop and they're really not invested like that.
Right.
To go back in the beginning of hip hop, when there were less fans.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Everyone wasn't on board as they are now.
Yeah.
Because now people have to recognize that this being a culture, like there was a time where there wasn't hip hop. We talk about this all the time. Hip hop didn't have its time on the radio. Right. You know, you got the weekends at night.
You definitely didn't have any visuals.
You had college shows, and they got their slot. And you were lucky if they was able to be on a bandwidth radio. Yeah. And you was lucky if it was clear. Yeah. Or that you would, and then you would have to know what time, because it would be like this weird time and day that it would come on.
As hell.
You know what I'm saying? Like, cause you know, in Jersey where I was at, we got this Princeton.
Okay.
It slipped my mind right now of what the letters are. You know, like WKL, whatever.
Y'all know what it is out there, those of you.
But this show used to get moved around so much. Like I remember one time it was like it came on Sunday morning from like 11 to 1.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Inconvenient as hell.
You know what I'm saying? But this is where you would hear the first of things before the internet, you know.
True indeed.
Before, you know, or before mainstream radio, or even Saturday night, Friday night would even play. Yes. You know what I'm saying? They were playing, look, this is what's coming. You know what I'm saying? So if you was a fan, a real fan,
that was
you was getting in tune to that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So here I am, the fan that's in tune with that. But I'm be able to deliver this message or whatever this to the other fan that may not be so much invested.
Right.
Or so he comes to me with the song 3 months later, like, yo, did you hear Black Sheep's the choices or flavor of the month? And I'll be like, yeah, bro, I heard that 3 months ago.
3 months ago.
That's why I say it's a whole lot of fans. It's a whole lot. I mean, you got fans that
stuck in eras.
They're stuck in eras.
I was a stuck in the 90s head.
That love 90s.
I used to use the hashtag stuck in the 90s. I'm sorry, trapped in the 90s. Matter of fact, I wrote a song
called Trapped
in the 90s. I never recorded it. This was before I met you. And then and I'll never forget. I remember when I discovered Little Brother. And I remember after that experience, I didn't like saying that I was trapped in the 90s. I didn't like saying that. But I was proud to say that.
But that goes to about another kind of fan. I mean, the level kind of fan, because there's a level of the fan that goes out and looks for the music. It goes out and gets the music. Like, I think I became addicted early
to looking for music.
Like, I used to be in Sam Goody, wall-to-wall sound and video, and at my local, you know what I mean, record shop.
Yeah.
You know, that's Daz, that's Lori's from where I'm from. And just going there whenever I had the money to get something and looking and being like, all right, now what do I want to spend this $15 on that when I go home? I'm going to be satisfied. To where was a point where I would go and be like, I got that.
You talk about that a lot.
Got that.
How you had everything.
To where I end up buying some, I'll be like, all right, let me just see how this bitches with attitudes. Bitches with problems.
Bitches with problems, hoes with attitudes. Let's get it right.
And so then you end up being that fan that, I mean, and I'm like, because I do take that in consideration of being in an era of the beginning stages of hip hop, because we were still then with different kind of fans. We were consuming it all. Yeah. Even back then.
Because it was so new.
It was new.
It was exciting, and it was changing all the time.
And we were young. We were young. Like, we were preteens, teenagers, at the same time that hip hop was preteen.
We literally grew up with hip hop. We are almost the same age. Like hip hop is just a couple of years, is the older cousin. Right? It is. So and we were always like we were at the age where we could tag along all the time, right? Yep. And so absolutely.
So we are able to, know from.
And it's a different experience for those people. Like, you always talk about how later generations, like, they don't have a time in their life where they didn't have hip hop. They don't have a time in their life where they didn't have the internet.
Nope.
Where they didn't even have. They're children who they're not going to know the life of a landline.
No, we're in 2021.
Never.
So somebody born in 2000,
they don't know what a dial tone sounds like.
When we were already carrying cell phones like crazy.
I remember there was a point in time when seeing a child in the street on a cell phone was mind blowing.
Was like crazy. Like
they walking with their mom, and they, the grandma called and they gave the baby the phone, and everybody would be like, "Look at that baby on a cell phone." I remember when that was a thing.
That was crazy.
You know what I mean? Yes. But it's the same type of situation with the different types of fans.
Being able to consume all of that, and I don't know, just being able to get everything. And when you're younger, you have time to consume it all.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Because what else are you doing?
You're not. Yeah. As an adult, you think you may be consuming it, but there's no way. Friday comes, and 10 albums drop. Let's just say 8.
You just don't have that.
Let's say 8 albums. And even if you have the time at work where you got your earphones in and you're just listening to it,
it's a different level of consumption.
You're not consuming it like you would when you have the time.
When you're in high school and you're on your way to school and you have the Walkman.
Yep.
And you have that travel time.
Yep.
Or maybe even if you lived around the corner, but maybe you have you have somewhere to go on every Wednesday. You go somewhere where the ride is 30 minutes, 20 minutes, or whatever, and you get to wear it. Or you're just a kid at recess, and you're, you know what I'm saying, on your lunch break. You're doing your homework.
Doing your homework.
You have a lot of time when you're a teenager.
You're not taking care of a kid.
Right, you're not taking care of a kid, or whatever you are doing, because many of us were latchkey kids. We had younger siblings. We had to take care of them or whatever. But because you're younger, every single thing that you're doing, you're playing music while you're doing it.
Video games.
As opposed to when you're an adult. I can't tell you how many adults I know right now that tell me the only time they listen to music is on the way to work and on the way to home. And that's
in the car. I know.
Like, they don't play music at home.
So then that's when they rely on the radio. Because when they get in the car, the radio comes on. And it's whatever they're playing. And then that's it. And then, you know.
Unless they have money and they're invested in Sirius Radio. And then they can do that sort of thing, right?
Yeah,
but for the most part, you're playing whatever the local station is.
Yeah. And I mean, now your phone hooks up. But.
Right.
That takes. I think that's a level, a different kind of fan. Like whether, that music fan actually sets their phone to whatever they want to listen to, and is it modern? Is it something that's playing now, or is it something that they like? They you had those fans. It's like, man, when I'm still listening to
that was me
Purple Tape.
That was me.
You know what I'm saying? I'm still listening to Smith and Wesson and them. So
I remember when I realized that Duck Down was still a thing.
We're 20 years in.
That Sean Price was still making music. I remember when I realized that in the 2000s. It was mind-blowing.
It's crazy that it's people, though, our age, that be like, I'm still listening to 30-year-old music. I mean, no, and when I say that, it's okay.
It's okay.
Because I still listen to 30-year-old music.
My father still listens to
my whole point is that they don't listen to, they don't know any new music.
They don't.
You know what I'm saying? Or the music that was after that, they know some of it, but then that kind of like fades as the years.
Or the fan who's still listening to whatever the album was back then, and they don't realize that artist has made 7 albums after that.
And they're lost. And they're like, I didn't know.
How many people are still listening to Sitting on Chrome and didn't know that Master Ace still continued to make music?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, I'm a Master Ace fan. I love Sitting on Chrome. I love whatever, da-da-da-da-da. Oh, so did you listen to the Son of Yvonne? Like, what is that? Like, he's still making music?
People do not know that Master Ace is
never stop.
One of the most prominent members of the consistent members of the Juice Crew.
If not the most consistent.
Out of that 5 on that song 4.
I didn't know that.
Out of the 4 on the symphony, Master Ace is the most consistent.
The most.
Him and G-Rap. G-Rap. You can't. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You can't leave G-Rap.
Was 38 Special?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, but he's
been making music. Yeah.
But also though, Master Ace, and I think Master Ace may have edged him out as far as
just content,
the content and the count of I don't know though. It could be round even. But
it might be even. It might be a little even.
Yeah, because Master Ace is still doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Kool G Rap, he kind of slowed down. But I think Kool G Rap was kind of putting out more stuff, even though Master Ace was still around. Mm-hmm. You know, it would probably be like 2 to 1.
Right.
With Kool G. Like, I got 2 albums out to your one in the last 3 years or the last, So, but yeah, Master Ace.
And that's a different type of fan.
And it's a different type of fan if you know about that. Because you
was the person who put me on and let me know that Master Ace
never stopped. Yeah. I mean,
never stopping. Whatever type of fan you are, it's whatever. You know what I mean?
It's
because it fits whatever your lifestyle is. It fits whatever however you choose to consume your music.
Exactly.
Right, but there are, levels. There are different levels or different sections, I should say, because levels. It sounds like there's a hierarchy, and I don't want to sound like that, right? Yeah. But there is.
Yeah, I feel you.
There's different subsections, if you will, of the type of hip hop fan, and we're asking, where do you reside?
What kind of
fan are you? Are you the, occasional fan? Are you the I just consume whatever my kids is listening to fan? Mm-hmm. Are you the I am only stuck in whatever era you thought was the best fan? Are you give me all of the things? I just want to continue to consume.
Because it really is that kind of like, as much hip hop as it is out there, there are fans that like songs about drugs. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much it. Like, what I'm saying? About if it's pushing drugs, then that's, you know what I mean, for them.
Because that was the time for them.
If you're talking about something else that might not be their flavor. If you just rapping,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That might be your flavor. If you are miracle, lyrical, spiritual, as the people would say, you know, and then that.
You a gangster rap fan.
And then that'll determine your level of investment.
Word.
So let us know. Where's your level of investment?
What kind of fan are you?
What kind of fan are you?
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
You really be supporting these artists?
Is you about that life?
You know what I'm saying?
Is you a hip hop head for real?
Word.
Out here.
Say what's up to Funko Pop Biggie.
We'll be back. All right, everybody, and we are back. And this is our last segment. This is the rhyme segment. This is where we bust down lyrics. We out here, we spit these bars. Rhymes. You know what I'm saying? Actually, we're not spitting bars from us. But if you would like to hear bars from us, we're available on all streaming platforms. Shameless plug. But what we do every rhyme segment, we pick lyrics that we think that you guys should listen to. If they're old lyrics, we want you to revisit them, and we break them down, and we talk about how dope they are. And so this week,
I am not saying anything. I'm just going to get into the lyrics.
Get into the lyrics, son.
I'll play the 9 and you'll play the target. You all know my name, so I guess I'll just start it. Or should I say start this? I'm the artist. Styles and new concepts is the hardest. Yo, because I'm a teacher. And Scott is a scholar. It ain't about money because we all make dollars. And that's why I walk with my head up. When I hear whack whoms, I get fed up. Rap is like a setup. A lot of games. A lot of suckers with colorful names. I'm so-and-so. I'm this, I'm that. But they all just wick, whack. I'm not white or red or black. I'm brown. And I'm from the Boogie Down Productions. Of course, our music be thumping. Others say they're bad, but they're bugging. Let me tell you something about hip-hop. And D-Nice, Melody, and Scholar Rock. I get a pen, a pencil, a marker. Mainly what I write is for the average New Yorker. Some MCs be talking and talking, trying to show how black people are walking. But I don't walk this way to portray or reinforce stereotypes of today. Like all my brothers eat chicken and watermelon. Talk broken English and drug selling. See, I'm telling and teaching pure facts. The way some act and rap is kind of whack, and it lacks creativity and intelligence. But they don't care because they company be selling it. It's my philosophy on the industry. Don't bother dissing me or even wishing we soften, dilute, or commercialize all the lyrics. Because it's about time some of y'all hear it. Or hear it firsthand from intelligent brown man. A vegetarian, no goat or ham. Or chicken or turkey or hamburger. Because to me, that's suicide, self-murder. Let us get back to what we call hip-hop and what it meant to DJ Scott LaRock.
Ladies and gentlemen, normally I would say stop right there, right? But we already stopped right there. Because this is the teacher.
Word.
Okay? KRS to the one. Okay?
This was from 1988.
This is from 1988. So a lot of y'all wasn't even born.
Yeah, some people that wasn't born.
A lot of people wasn't born, and that's okay. It's okay. This is from My Philosophy.
Yes.
Okay. This is a staple as far as when people discuss like, yo, dope bars, like just barred up type of things, because I do know that one of the criticisms that early hip-hop gets from later generations is how elementary the lyrics were, or the delivery, or the style in the 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, or hip hop, just the kind of party things or whatever, and it was like, oh, but that wasn't, people wasn't rapping in double time like they're doing now. So there's a lot of criticisms as far as how basic, right?
Yeah.
The lyrics were, right? Or at least the songs, right? But this particular joint will never
to add on to that. To add on to that, we're going back and we're talking about, even though biting was forbidden.
Yeah.
Being early in hip hop, people still mimic, let's say. People still wanted to be themselves, but they still rap like Cass. They still rapped like Melly Mel. You know what I'm saying? Because of this was
the standard.
This was the style. This is what it, was still new. But within that start, it always being a competition thing, the styles begin to change. And I think those crowned, and not to say king or anything, but those that stood out were the ones that started to change the style. And you have like your Cool Mo D.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then you have KRS-One.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I think KRS-One embodied not picking any particular style, even though he changed the style.
Yeah.
He didn't say, yo, I'm taking this style is mine, and then that's it.
Right.
It was more like, no, I'm going to do this style, and then on this one, I'm going to do this style.
Yeah.
And then on this, I'm going to do this style. So, I think a lot of people overlook that from KRS-One, other than him just being a dope MC. You have to give it to KRS-One for being that dude, to being in like, I'm gonna change the style on this one.
Yes.
And then the next song, I'm gonna do it like this. You know what I'm saying? And then not only that, it being dope.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So being able to just not saying like, all right, this is me, I write my rhymes, this is how I come in here and say them.
Right.
It's gonna be like, nah, it's way more than that.
It's way more.
And that is KRS-One.
And this song really is what these lyrics for me is like. If somebody from the future was like, we heard about this guy KRS-One, give us the one song that is like a complete embodiment of his career, I would pick My Philosophy.
Definitely.
I would.
Definitely, My Philosophy is like, if you're an early fan of hip hop, and My Philosophy is not like in your list of like hip hop songs, it doesn't have to be your favorite song.
Yeah.
But like My Philosophy is like, and people are like, no, but it's like Fight the Power. It's not a level of Fight the Power. It's not. It's two different kind of songs.
Right.
We're not comparing the songs.
Talk about the impact.
The impact, yeah. And again, not the same impact as Fight the Power, because it had it was so many levels of impact, being PE and being
justice and activism, and blackness,
and then it was basically the soundtrack for Do the Right Thing.
Right. So that's a different level.
Yeah, they played it all through the movie.
Right, and and that gave it a different level of impact.
Level.
But just as far as like hip hop, right?
My Philosophy is, to me, and it is the aftermath of the Bronx against Queens.
Yes.
And this goes back to being a fan and that kind of fan, and being able to analyze. This was, if you listen to My Philosophy and you listen to the lyrics, and people argue because, KRS-One isn't saying any names, but this is the cap on dissing Queens. My Philosophy, and back to talking about how brilliant of a song it is, you know what I'm saying, because of the lyrics and everything involved. But then on top of that, it's the cap on Queens. Like, it's... I don't walk this way to portray or reinforce stereotypes. I mean, Run DMC had Walk This Way.
Right.
Others say they're bad, but they're bugging. I had this argument in discussion groups before. Person with bad out was LL. I'm naming people from Queens. Like, he doesn't have to go on there and diss like he did Mr. Magic and Marley Marl and Roxanne and all them like he did the first time. Right. This is just... for everybody that even has something to say or mumble about me talking about Queens before,
this is it.
This is put the cap,
screw it on.
I'm KRS-One,
right?
And Boogie Down Productions we in here.
And a lot of times you have people who battle, even now, and one person is victorious in the battle. You look at what they put out afterwards, and it doesn't necessarily match what they delivered during the battle. Yeah. And just in case y'all thought the only thing I could do is diss Queens. If y'all only thought that Boogie Down Productions was only on some, we just out here trying to battle and just diss y'all. Like, I also spit these bars. I also am hella smart. You know what I'm saying? And I also deliver dope music.
Let me give you a line from the third verse. Boogie Down Productions is made up of teachers. The lectures is conducted through the mic into the speaker. Who gets weaker, the king or the teacher? It's not about reality. It's not about a salary. It's all about reality. Teachers teach and do the world good. Kings just rule, and most are never understood. If you were to rule or govern a certain industry, all inside this room right now would be in misery. No one would get along nor sing a song, because everyone be singing for the king.
Am I wrong?
Now, who were the kings?
Run DMC.
Where they from?
They from Queens.
Again. And it's just like so in your face, but over your head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mainly what I write is for the average New Yorker. Some MCs be talking and talking, trying to show this is how black people are walking. Just to, even back then, like the conscious, people say the conscious rap, but hip hop really started out in ending gang violence and being conscious. In a partying way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
As a distraction, it's
like, to bring us together.
We have all this other crap going on. This is where we come together and we forget about our problems and we all come together as one. And we're able to have this common enjoyment, you know what I'm saying, of the master of ceremony and the DJ.
Yeah. No doubt.
And he is he's the teacher for a reason, because he's barred up in this whole thing.
Yes.
But in a very educational way, right? But like on some educational, like you want to find out what he's talking about. So if you don't have certain pieces of information, right? This is what he was really good at, making you want to go learn, right? I also, for me, because, once I got older, Nas was that for me, right? Nas would mention books and certain things or whatever, and he would make me, I didn't want to be the person on the outside of that conversation, right? Same thing with KRS-One, like even like You Must Learn. Like it was so many things that he dropped in there. I just wanted to go and learn that.
And it was more so like, they weren't the only ones.
No.
I think KRS-One and Chuck D were the most up in your face known ones, opposed to, there were other people dropping knowledge, but I think on a little bit more of a subtle,
it was more subtle
approach.
It was more subtle.
You know what I'm saying? Like
he's always been proud to call himself the teacher.
Like him getting, like one of the videos where he was teaching the facts, and the people come out in the school and throw him out the school. And be like, yo, you can't teach here no more. Because he basically was teaching the truth.
Was that You Must Learn? Was that the video?
It might have been You Must Learn.
Yeah. He definitely, and then for him to be so young at the time and want to take on such a big responsibility of being the teacher. As opposed to just being a young, dope MC who's out here, girls and fans and all of that stuff.
Exactly.
Like he took on such a grown, he took on such, Chuck D, they took on such a grown level to this, you know what I mean? And that's not to say those people who chose more subtle ways of being, just educational in their lyrics, that it was less impactful or whatever. But the fact, like you say, they were so in your face about it. Like in this song, like it's every single bar is like boom, 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 boom. And it's in your face, and it's all about, like he called it my philosophy.
On the industry.
Like you on some philosophicalness of the rap industry that we didn't even realize was an industry.
Don't bother dissing me.
Like people were still, even those of us who were invested in it, we didn't really think it was going to be what it is now. Right? But he had the foresight to even realize, to be philosophical and look at it from a place of like, nah, we need to analyze it and we need to talk about it, right?
And he mentions that in I'm Still Number One.
Yes.
When he says we'll be the old school artists. I can't remember the whole lyric, but he like that's like a classic,
which is so crazy.
4 bars right there. You know what I'm saying?
Which is so crazy. How soon they became the old school. Because when Leaders of the New School came out,
they was trying. It was
kind of disrespectful
that you're pushing.
But the music was changing so much.
It was changing.
And it was changing so fast
because it was new.
Right. So it made sense that they called themselves leaders of the new school.
And it was changing so fast because there goes the point of the originality and people having different styles. Because it wouldn't change if everybody was still rapping like Cass and Melly Mel. You wouldn't be able to call it like you a leader of the new school if you still rapping.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, and that's why, one of the reasons why it was changing so fast in its early stages, because it's still growing like a kid.
Yes.
It's like you buying sneakers and like 3 weeks later, they don't fit.
Then if you look at the fact that hip hop is 40 years old now, and we have so many rappers now that all sound alike, right? So they're newer rappers, but they're newer rappers in the late stage of hip hop, where you're relaxed and you're in your 40s now. You don't need to run around and change and do this and do that and experiment and whatever. You're kind of settled. Yeah. Right? And for whatever that conversation is worth, and that's another conversation, right, about, how we have so many rappers that are okay with being similar. Right? We don't have the re-emergence of all these new different sounds and this and that and the third, right? And I'm sure there are people out there who can give me plenty of artists where what I'm saying isn't true to them, right? But that makes sense, right? Because, it was changing, and when you're young and you're a teenager, you're changing what you look like. You want to change your hairstyle. You want to set your clothes apart from your peers. You want to be different. You want to stand out. And so that's why we had so many different
I think
successful, right? We had conscious, gangster,
so many
we had
different,
just regular Rakim bars, and they all was like top rappers on the radio. Like you could go from listening to this to Tribe to Rakim to
Slick Rick with a funny story.
With a funny story, Gangstar.
You can go from listening to something conscious to something teaching you to listening to Slick Rick telling you a funny story about a chick he met in a pizza store.
Yeah, and then and then you're also gonna hear. I mean, you probably didn't hear it on the radio, but you were exposed to NWA, and it's just all around one extreme side of the spectrum to the other. Because we're in the teenage infancy, in those young years where you're just trying to figure yourself out. That makes so much sense. That is a bar.
You listening to NWA, and then after that, the Humpty Dance comes on,
and you're doing it,
and you're okay,
and you're doing a Humpty Dance.
Yeah,
right.
Straight out of Compton. Just went off, and then the Humpty Dance. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now you're doing the Humpty Dance, and it's nobody's looking at you crazy, right? KRS-One and my philosophy, and just the fact that, like you said, it's his take on his philosophy about the rap industry
at the time.
At the time, obviously,
and at the same time, he was putting the cap on Queens.
And he put the cap on Queens. And also, even though this was at the time, like, how a lot of this stuff, like, how can you apply it to today? Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he was the prophet. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. Shouts out to KRS-One, especially for this joint right here. This is like top tier KRS-One. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, for real, like, he has come out with stuff after that's been dope as hell, but like my philosophy, like, back then, to realize, like, yo, you penned this, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like you sat down and
and then you see the video, right? And how he dropped the beat.
Oh yeah,
and wanted to deliver the lyrics,
and
like how you go to a battle now, or you have people rapping and they be like, cut the music, because I want you to get what I'm saying. Like, he really understood, as the children would say, he understood the assignment. Shouts out to the teacher, man, Chris Parker. We salute you, and my philosophy. It definitely it's a life-changing song for me.
Word, like, definitely.
Crazy bars. No elementary bars here.
Nope.
No.
But he did have a song called Elementary.
I mean, listen. Thank you for rocking with us. Sorry about that. Thank you for rocking with us. We will see you not next Wednesday. But 2 Wednesdays from now.
Word.
We will see you every other Wednesday right here, same time, same bat channel.
Every other hump day.
Every other hump day.
Happy hump day, by the way.
Happy hump day. Make sure you wash your hands.
Hump somebody or something.
Oh, okay.
Hump.
Wow, I didn't know that this was going to get X-rated. Listen.
It's not. Hump dance somebody.
Y'all still doing the Humpty dance. Did y'all do the Humpty dance? Y'all was at the party? Y'all was at the party with the Paisley shirts on?
R.I.P. to Shock G, man.
R.I.P. to Shock G, man. R.I.P. to a lot of people we lost. Michael Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Peace, y'all.
Peace, y'all.